Hello, today we're going to make a pumpkin cover. I like to think of them as a pumpkin sweater, but we're going to make a pumpkin cover. And what I have here is one of those styrofoam Dollar Tree pumpkins. So that's going to be the base. This is what we're covering. Now I have some yarn. It's just worsted weight yarn. My daughter got this for me. She got a big bag of yarn for me at Goodwill. Any worsted weight yarn will be fine. Doesn't have to be this one. I don't even know if they make this anymore or not. We need an H crochet hook or a 5.00 millimeter. And for the stem on the pumpkin, I'm using one of these little wood stems that you get from the Dollar Tree. And for the pumpkin that I made earlier, I made an orange one. I used a leaf off of this vine that you can get from Dollar Tree, or garland. I'm not sure what I'm going to use on this one. It's just green, but we'll figure that out. And for the little tendrils on the pumpkin, I used this wired jute cord from Dollar Tree. You also need a glue gun and those covers for your fingers or something to protect your fingers from the hot glue when we're using it. And it would be helpful if you had a yarn needle. Of course, I can't find mine right now, but it would make it a lot easier. And I believe that's all we need. This project is completely half double crochet. So let's begin with the slip knot like we would for any other crochet project. And then we're going to chain 26. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Now we're just going to half double crochet in each chain. Now if you're not super experienced with crochet and you'd rather single crochet, then go ahead. Just make more rounds or more rows to make it fit your pumpkin. So for the half double crochet, we're just going to wrap our yarn around, and then in the second chain from the hook, we're just going to do a half double crochet by putting our hook into the chain, pulling up a loop, and pulling through all 3 loops on the hook. We'll do that again, into the chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, all 3, go through all 3, into the chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, and go through all 3. So go ahead and do that all the way across. Okay, I have made it all the way across, and at this point you should have 25 half double crochets. Now we're going to chain 1 and turn, and this is the way we're going to do the rest of this project until we get to 38 rows. So you're going to chain 1 and turn. Then we're going to half double crochet in the back loop only of every half double crochet across. And we're just going to repeat that. When we get to the end, we're going to chain 1 and turn, and then repeat this half double crochet in the back loop only of every half double crochet across. So that is our entire project. Once we get to 38 rows, or once I get to 38 rows, I'll come back and we'll finish this up. Okay, I have 38 rows of half double crochet now. Now this is where your yarn needle would come in handy, but since I don't have one, I'm just going to slip stitch my piece together. Now work out your front and back. They're basically the same really, but you can see the difference of where we started. I always consider that my front and that my back. So with the piece inside out, I'm going to slip stitch this together. We're going to put the two short sides together. Just like that. And then I'm just going to slip stitch all the way across. And when I do this, I'm going to work through the back loops again. So when we flip it around, it'll match the rest of our work. So that's the front loop. This is the back loop. And I forgot to say that you need a pair of scissors. We're going to need the scissors when we get to the end of this. Okay, I'm just going to repeat that all the way across. Okay, so I've made it all the way across. My piece is closed up now. Now we want to cut off, leaving a large tail or a long tail so that we can gather our bottom. So I'll go ahead and cut this. And go ahead and knot it off. And again, if you have a yarn needle, you'd be much better off with a yarn needle. But I'm going to have to gather this with my hook. And we're going to do this all the way around, so that we can gather this bottom together. And this doesn't have to be perfect by any means. We just want to get it gathered to the point where we can almost close it all the way. So let's go ahead and get that done all the way around. All right, I have ran my yarn all the way around my piece. And now we're just going to pull it to gather it. And it doesn't have to be completely closed unless you want it to be, and then close it up. Let's see what we have. Yeah, a little bit of opening is fine. So now we're going to knot this off just by bringing our yarn through. And knotting it off. I think it come undone a little bit when I did that. Let's gather it back up. Go ahead and knot it off. There we go. And repeat that again, just to be safe. And at this point, the only thing left to do is to work your ends in a little bit. You don't have to go crazy. Just get them in and out of the way. Actually, we could tie these together. And we're just going to bring this down a little bit just so it doesn't poke out our bottom. Obviously, if this were something you were going to wear, you'd be a lot more careful about this, but we're not going to wear this, so it'll be fine. All right, now let's turn it around, right side. There you go. It's a little hat, but not today. So here we are. Here's the bottom and the top. Now let's prepare our pumpkin. So here's our pumpkin. We can just pull this stem out. It's just a toothpick in here. We can just leave that, it doesn't matter. And of course, I forgot to say, you need something to cut your pumpkin. I'm using a craft knife from Dollar Tree, but it doesn't have to be. Kitchen knife, whatever you have is fine. And we're just going to make an opening so that we can tuck our crochet piece down in here. Obviously, be very careful with this. It's not difficult at all. I just have a really strange knack of making things look difficult when I'm doing it on video. There we go. Okay. Normally that's quite easy. Okay, now we're going to place our pumpkin into our little cover we just made, and we're going to pull this up, and this is where you want those protective guards, because we're going to glue this inside of this hole that we made. And you could use, I don't know, popsicle stick, scissors, whatever, to hold it down. But I have these little guards, so that's what I'm going to use. We're going to pull our yarn up and then just hold it until it gets a nice grip. And that's all there is to it. We're going to just do this all the way around. Forgive my nasty glue gun. I don't have them very long before they look all grungy again. So we're going to do this all the way around. And of course I need a glue stick. And nothing about this has to be perfect. This is just a cute little project for the fall, for Halloween, for whatever you want to make it for. Okay, there we go. Now I selected one of those little wood stems, and I thought this one was kind of interesting looking. I don't know if we should go this way. Yeah, I kind of like that. Now we just simply hot glue our little stem on. And hold it for a few seconds. Okay, let's set this aside. Now, for the little tendrils, I'm going to put some glue. I'm going to put these little protector things on. And I'm going to put the glue at the end to stop all this fraying that's going on. And just kind of, whoop, wrong way, just kind of twist it in. Yes, I know it's a mess, but it works, so there we are. And now, to twist it, I just used, probably not the best idea, but I just used the knife and twisted it around. You might want to use something safer, pen, pencil, whatever you have, just to make this little tendril. And now, before I cut it, I'm once again going to wrap some hot glue on it and then cut it in the middle of the hot glue. Give that a second to dry. If you've watched any of my other videos, you know that me and hot glue guns are just not friends. So I'm sure you could be much neater and nicer with this. And then we're going to cut right there in the middle of the glue so it'll hold both sides. And now we're going to make one more. And repeat the same thing. There we go. Some glue on it. All right. Now let's go ahead and cut this one right in the center of that glue. Probably should have used wire cutters. But here's our little tendrils. And you shape them and make them however you want them. Now let's bring our pumpkin back in. And we are just going to throw on some hot glue and stick our little tendrils in. And obviously you don't need that much, but my hot glue gun skills are very, very lacking. I'll go ahead and put this one right here. down into that yarn. Maybe it'll hide that big hot glue mess I just made. All right, and now I guess I will go ahead and use these leaves and just pull them right off. Once again, this is easy. Just ignore my knack of making everything look difficult. Okay, I think I'm going to cut these down a little. Cut these stem area down a little bit. Don't think I need them quite that long. And again, just a bit of glue. And I like mine to kind of stand up. So I'm going to hold it here. And just let it stand up in the air like that. And we will repeat that with the other one. Don't really want to cover up that interesting part, so I'm going to put this one over here with the tendrils. And we have to hold it for a second if we want it to stand. And there we have it. A crochet pumpkin cover. Now do this for any styrofoam pumpkin you happen to have. Doesn't have to be a Dollar Tree one. Doesn't have to be this size. Just make sure you compensate for the size on the amount of chains that you start with and the amount of rows that you crochet. Well, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. And thank you so much for watching.